All right, the first set of fixtures for the round of 32 in the Australia Cup are gone. Here are our predictions from last episode. We got 3 absolute stinkers. I'm going to lead us off. I had Sydney to beat Oakley and get revenge from their cup set a few years before. Of course, that did not happen. Oakley went back to back. I was competing directly with Ross, so he's done well. He's got the one-on-one victory there. Will had Mitch Malia or Alec Kurasevsky to score. Neither of them did. That's actually really disappointing to me because I wanted to have the whole and/or debate. I thought that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Especially with him not here to defend himself.
Absolutely, we could just roll all over him.
Yeah.
But Christian, you were the other whiff. You had MacArthur to lose and big cup set didn't quite come off.
Surprise, but Colin Knights were 1-0 up. I thought, okay, surely we're going to get one prediction correct to start the season off well, but no, it wasn't to be. 2 late goals to MacArthur.
All right, so we have 4 for consideration for votes today. Well,
See,
Jacob,
I think it should be. I think it shouldn't be that we conditionally give Paletti the 3 now, on the contingent element that it does actually come off. For now, Ross's is nailed in as that. He's absolutely spot on with it, right?
So, by the way, you're talking, Jacob, you're ruling yourself out of 3 votes as well?
I don't think I'm going to get the 3. Not up against Ross, who got it absolutely nail on the head. I mean, I got mine right, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't, exactly spot on with it because I said that, obviously, there'd be 30 goals across the set of fixtures, and what was it, 35? So there were 30 goals. There were 30 plus a couple extra just in case. That's the way I sort of view it there. But no, it wasn't 30 exactly, so I got it right, but I wasn't spot on. So no, I'm happy to.
But did you say exactly,
3
Jacob?
points on this one. I didn't. I just said there would be 30 goals across this set of fixtures. But
well,
I
that's
think
close there. If he said exactly, then that's a different story.
Hold on, stop trying to pitch votes for him. What are you doing?
I've got no vested interest in this. I'm going to big last on the
no,
table.
but I still think because I didn't specify, I can't get the 3 points unless I got like it's spot on with 30, if that makes sense, because there's a wider range. It's like me saying there would be a span of X number of goals one way or the other is less impressive than saying there will be exactly this number of goals, if that makes sense. So it's like
I feel
me
like you're
saying
trying
that
to
there
earn
was
some goodwill for later rounds.
potentially, but I just don't see the point in arguing this one because I think Ross got it exactly right. I didn't get mine exactly right. I can't I can't in good faith argue that I did get mine exactly right. And even if I did get it exactly right, with Christian's sort of argument, I don't think it's as impressive as picking a specific NPL side to beat an A-League side.
We have Ross at 3 votes. Then we have Paletti and Chris, who are very close together. Obviously, Chris has got his spot on with the 2 A-League teams to be knocked out. That is going to happen. Here's what I'm going to put out there. 3 votes Ross, 2 votes Chris, 1 vote Jacob. And then if Paletti does get their extra time or penalties, they pop up to 2 votes. Chris goes down to 1 and Jacob falls off.
So are we saying that Chris's is a better prediction, a more difficult prediction than mine, considering half of it was guaranteed to happen?
Well, that's what I'll throw out there, because I think that's the last order that we need to decide.
I'm obviously I'm going to argue for myself here.
Well, you say obviously, you gave us 3 votes at all.
Well, I did get it because I couldn't argue that mine was better than Ross's, but I think in terms of between me and Chris, I think that getting the number of goals scored across that set of fixtures is more impressive.
I'm leaning towards Chris.
Suggesting there'd be an upset.
In terms of between Jacob and Chris, I'm slightly leaning towards Chris for the 1 vote. Like, it's so marginal, but if Jacob had said 30 on the dot, then I'd be okay. That's impressive, but it's sort of given a bit of leeway and a bit of it's not bang on directly, spot on. So I mean, for 2 A-League clubs to get knocked out like Chris predicted, I think that's had more impressive than Jacob's prediction.
I think looking at the numbers as well, we're already at 35 goals before the City Perth game.
Yeah.
I wonder if just because there has been so many goals, it looks like you've lowballed it. Like, I'm not sure if this is actually an average high-scoring or low-scoring round, but because you're already 5 goals over, it just looks worse.
I kind of get that.
So Ross 3, and then Chris 2, Jacob 1, and then Police slots into 2 if they get theirs right.
All right, sure.
We're settled on that?
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay, updated leaderboard with lots of asterisks, depending on how it throws
Lockie
out.
is already this is it. Lockie's already feeling threatened by me this season. So
Already?
yeah,
I'm the one sitting at top. Actually, Ross is probably top now. He
Ross
got a
is.
vote last week as
He
well.
got a vote last week.
All
Yeah.
right, Ross is the
Just
new
the
leader.
question: does the Australia Cup predictions are they separate to the A-League ones?
Correct.
With the leaderboard?
Just the preseason cup.
Okay.
It's a warm up.
Well, okay, it doesn't count. Who cares? Throw in the towel.
Okay, so as we've said, we're splitting the round of 32 up into the 2 different weeks. We have 7 more games for a new set of predictions. Let's lead off with Chris. Chris has said that there's going to be over 27.5 goals in the 7 games.
Okay, so here we go. This is essentially my prediction from last time, right? I said there would be 30 goals. I didn't specify that there would be exactly, which means that I gave myself some leeway in that there would be at least 30 goals, right? Chris is doing the same thing here. So if he gets it, unless he gets it exactly on 20, well, if he gets 28, what was the prediction? Over 27 and a half.
Yeah.
So if he gets 28, that's spot on. But anything over that, you have to use the rules that that you guys were talking about here, where it's not impressive, so it's only 1 point.
I think it gets less impressive the more goals there are, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the more goals that are scored afterwards, the lower chance of polling votes. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that
Okay,
precedent is good. Christian, what do you have for this round?
I've gone for a double header, so Heidelberg and Central Coast both teams to score. I think that might have some goals in it, hopefully. And also Lambton Jaffers and Victory, both teams to score. I think Victory saw a bit of the game against Gully. Defensively, I don't think they're set 100% as of yet. They'll need some time to settle in. And Lambton at home, I think they won't cause the upset, but I think they can snatch a goal.
Okay, well, let's go to Ross. He's got a fair multi to work with here.
So my prediction is that of the 3 remaining A-League sides that are yet to play against their respective NPL opponents, I think each of the A-League sides wins their fixture by at least 2 goals. And there's going to be combined 7 yellow cards from all 3 games.
Wow.
High
Okay,
stakes.
Like, if he gets that, there's no disputing that is 3 points, because I think
Absolutely.
that's probably the most complex prediction I think we've probably ever had on this game. Yeah, not just the A-League teams to win, but also the goal difference and the number of yellow cards. But if he doesn't get it, then, it seems like it was foolish, because he could have secured a point with even just half of that prediction. So,
Jacob, let's go to you.
well, talking of low scoring extra time, that's going to be my prediction this week, is that 2 games are going to head to extra time in this set of fixtures. Obviously, Paletti just mentioned the South Melbourne Phoenix game, which we were all talking about pre-recording, as well as having all the makeup of being one of those boring games of football anybody's ever seen and probably going to penalties. So that's one that I've got my eye on. And then, there's 6 other fixtures there with the potential for it, with some pretty closely matched sides. So, I'd like to think that it'll come off, and that it's not, super risky like Ross is, where, there's a lot to it. But I also think that it's a higher standard than my one last week was, at least.
Okay, I like it. Let's go to Will.
For this round, I'm going to go for all A-League teams to concede a goal in their games. So Mariners against Heidelberg, Phoenix to concede, Perth and Melbourne City play each other, and Victory against Lambton Jaffers.
I
guess
don't
it's
mind
cup
that.
football, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of in the vein of what he had last week, right? With 2 specific NPL players to score. It's kind of similar in the way of that. It's like, oh, okay, the NPL teams are going to score against their A-League opposition. So sort of going with what he knows didn't work out last week. So maybe he can turn the tables here and flip the script. But no, I actually think that's got a decent chance of actually coming off as well. Like, looking at the matchups that are there. Obviously, Lambton Jaffers are a pretty good side. South Melbourne will be closely matched with the Phoenix, and it's down to Heidelberg and the Mariners. So, yeah, that's a good one.
You mentioned the Phoenix South game before. I'm going there as well. It's a little bit of it's a 3-parter, really. I think, number 1, South are going to roll into the game with the Doherty Cup on their shoulder. They're playing Oakley on the weekend. I reckon they're going to win that game, come into the Australia Cup, and they're going to defeat Wellington Phoenix, but it is going to at least extra time, possibly penalties as well. But it's going more than the 90.
Okay, I I have some questions. Since when were we including other competitions in this?
So it's not another competition. I'm not saying what's going to happen in the Doherty Cup final. I'm just saying that South are going to come into their Australia Cup game having won the Doherty Cup.
But that can't count
With the trophy.
towards your prediction.
That
though.
can't count towards. You can't count that towards complexity.
Why not?
If it
But it's
does
not
or
part of the
doesn't happen,
Australia
because
Cup.
there's not yet. These are Australia Cup predictions, not
Technically, it
every
is
game
because
of.
the early stages of the Doherty Cup are the
Oh
Australia
my
Cup.
god, are we going into
Oh my,
details?
we're going to get
Yeah.
into semantics like that, are we? But those stages are over though. Those stages are finished. We didn't do predictions for those. This stage of the Doherty Cup is not part of the.
I thought it was for
Australia
these 7
Okay.
games.
All right, so
Surely.
you want me to make it simpler then? That's fine. I'll just say
Well, no, I'm just saying that you can't claim something that happens in another competition as part of the complexity of your prediction if it comes off, and then also go, oh, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't.
no. I'm saying it does matter, but people have been known to claim votes if part of their multi fails. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
which that's fine, but you can't. You can't, go. This is a
Jacob's
predictions
enraged.
game for this competition, and then make predictions about another competition.
Okay,
That's not how it
am I
works.
allowed to talk about the Doherty Cup at all?
It's not. I'm not the games master here. I think it's. How are we going to do this? Is it going to be a majority vote?
You guys
or-
have to decide.
I have no
'cause-
problem with Lockie mentioning the Doherty Cup, but don't make it as in like part of the prediction. Like it's fine to say they're going to win, but
You can add it as if you when you're just talking about your prediction and you want to add a bit of context, go for it. But it can't be part of the prediction.
Okay, let me reclassify then. South Melbourne are going to beat Wellington Phoenix in at least extra time, possibly penalties. And they
Much
might
more
win another
agreeable.
cup the weekend before, as context.
Yeah.
It's very specific context to this game. It's happening 3 days before.
Okay, so any game of football happening within the same week.
it shouldn't count. It shouldn't count. That's
Okay,
No.
okay, the line's been drawn. It's all good. I see what's happening here. You've been threatened by the previous champ. You're trying to bring him down. It's all good.
This is upholding the integrity.
Paletti, get the red card
upholding
out.
the integrity of the game right here.
Get the red card out. All right, there are predictions for the next part of the round of 32. We'll see you next week.